Hey everybody, it's the Tramp. Just wanted to let you know, since we recorded this on Thursday night, more stuff has happened on Friday. We now know that WWN, the parent company of Evolve, Shine, Full Impact Pro, has pulled out of FloSlam. Their shows this week will not be on FloSlam, so if you have subscribed to FloSlam, you are not getting those shows. We're going to talk a little bit about the situation beforehand, but this did not happen before we recorded, so I'm just recording this to let you know that yes, there is more to the story, and the shows that we talk about in the preview, not free anymore. Any Evolve shows, anything Shine, anything like that, yeah, that's $9.99 subscription on WWN Live now. It's not on FloSlam. Anyway, that's why this looks different. Normal show is coming right now. Hey, welcome to Next Week in Indie Wrestling with your host, The Tramp, sponsored by FloSlam.tv. Wait, none of that's gonna work anymore, is it? Crap. I love you, Brian. Love Brian Zane. I don't think he has any clue who I am. But the timing of launching that new thing really hurts. I'm positive it had nothing to do with me, but it hurts. Right after changing everything around. Anyway, biggest news this week was obviously the sad passing of Bobby Heenan. I've already spoken about this on Twitter. I mean, the man was a legend. He was the absolute greatest commentator in the history of wrestling. The gold standard for managers. One of the best heels overall that you'll ever see. He could elevate somebody just by being associated with them. Nobody's were contenders. He got the most popular wrestler, Andre the Giant, to become a massive, hated villain just by aligning with him. There was no way people would have bought Andre as a bad guy without having Bobby Heenan by his side. He was the greatest at everything he's known for, and he will be missed. Other news we got this week was 4 of the primary on-screen talents and a senior editor for What Culture have left What Culture. We don't know the exact details, but when their departure was announced, some other former What Culture staffers chimed in, unhappy with the business culture led by senior management there. We don't know. There may be non-disclosures, there may be non-disparagement clauses. They have filed paperwork for a new venture that appears to be very similar to what they were doing at What Culture. We don't know if they're going to be allowed to do anything in the wrestling realm. We don't know what is happening with WCPW. We know that they will announce a new general manager at Refuse to Lose. I believe that they have taped loaded up until then, so they don't have a chance to do anything until then. So we don't know. Obviously, they're going forward with Refuse to Lose. They have tapings following that. But what this means for the company going forward with the people that were the driving creative forces behind the scenes for WCPW, don't know. Could be anything. But they're not the only big internet wrestling company having some trouble. I was going to talk just about a Deadspin article that David Bixenspan wrote the other day about Global Force Network. Basically, he had written that there was not a lot of optimism for just what Global Force Network could do, the video-on-demand service that GFW is talking about launching. It's not even GFW anymore, but that company, Impact, is talking about launching. Not a lot of optimism for it because basically unless you are WWE, High Spots Wrestling Network, or Progress, you don't really have much going for you in the way of video on demand. And it was mentioned in there that FloSlam actually was having so much trouble that they renegotiated the licensing rights for an indie show 2 days before it was scheduled to occur from $1,000 to $250. If you're not good at math, that is 1/4 of the agreed upon licensing fees. I have that kind of money on hand where I could license that show for that amount. And they were going to cut down to that just to show the video. So FloSlam's not doing well. Put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. And it sounds like most of the pivot share programs that aren't Progress or High Spots aren't doing well because the fees on there aren't very reasonable for wrestling. Some of the YouTube channels are doing okay, but nobody's really blowing up. Nobody's really blowing up. But the one thing that I thought was really interesting that kind of got buried in that story was it was said, matter-of-factly, in the future, Progress and ICW events will be aired on WWE Network. So you got that coming for you. Now you know how I said put a pin in that FloSlam stuff? Yeah, let's come back to that because I am taping this on Thursday, and Thursday we got word that FloSlam is suing World Wrestling Network. Now, here's the Cliff's Notes version of this. FloSlam started, I believe, as an MMA site. Then it was Flow Sports, and they kind of branched out to cover all these different sports, and they eventually wanted to launch a streaming wrestling site, and their anchor for that was World Wrestling Network. And that is basically Planet Gabe. Gabe Sapolsky, who rose to fame as the golden child behind the scenes of Paul Heyman, was a booker for Ring of Honor for years, and when he left there he broke out Dragon's Gate USA, which is now gone. Evolve is the big key one, but there's also Shine, there's Full Impact Pro, there's now Style Battle. There's this family of different promotions all under the WWN banner. And what FloSlam is saying is that when they went to WWN and said, hey, we want to put you here instead of doing the iPay-per-view DVD model, they said, we need your figures. We need to know how many people are buying your iPay-per-views. And WWN didn't do that. They gave them numbers for iPay-per-views, DVDs, and then added just whatever the hell they wanted on top of that. Gave them fake numbers, gave them inflated expectations of what people would be interested in their product, basically saying they misrepresented them. Now they want to get the real numbers, and they had to sue to do it. Now it's saying that WWN is likely going to countersue. We don't know why, but this is ugly. But we do believe that WWN is going to try to get out of the deal because they want to go to WWE Network, just like Progress and ICW, because they have a similar first look deal with WWE, where they have that little come look at our talents, get scouted, and we get to sell that to talent coming through here that, oh, if you work for us, we can guarantee that you're going to be seen by William Regal and Triple H. So, looks like everybody's a scumbag in that deal. We got some big shows coming up. The biggest one will be the last we get to because we go from Saturday through Sunday, and you know what Sunday is going to be. But we don't have a whole lot going on until Thursday. That is going to be Impact, not GFW Impact, not TNA Impact, just Impact is doing a special episode of Impact Victory Road. We are getting a 6-woman tag team match. That is going to be the team of Taryn Terrell, Taya Valkyrie, and Sienna against the team of Allie, Rosemary, and Gail Kim. Allie and Rosemary have been having this little weird friendship thing going since Rosemary turned face. It's interesting because on the Indies, Cherry Bomb and Courtney Rush were heated enemies, hated each other, but now they're doing the friendly thing. It's cute. I like it. We got OVE versus LAX for the Tag Team Championship. OVE is a really good team. They are known as Ohio is for Killers elsewhere. Not a name that Impact really wanted to go with, but it's still the Christ brothers against LAX. I've never been a big fan of LAX, but OVE is a great team. I know this has already been taped. There are already spoilers out there. We're not going to talk about who wins. X Division Championship match. Trevor Lee, who was wearing the belt without having won it, now actually is the rightful champion. He is going up against Petey Williams, who has returned and is still busting out Canadian Destroyers 10, 15 years later. And for the GFW Championship, Eli Drake is going to be taking on Johnny Impact in his first major defense. That's going to be fun. Those are both guys that are outcasts of WWE system that have really kind of broken out on their own since leaving. Should be a very good match. Evolve 93, yeah, Evolve. This is on FloSlam because it'll still be a thing on Saturday. This is going to be at 5:15 Eastern. There are 3 big matches on this one and a few other ones, but Zack Sabre Jr. versus FREDDIE is going to be a big one. Keith Lee was supposed to take on Davey Richards, but Davey Richards got injured, could not make it. He has been replaced with Cedric Alexander on loan from WWE. Hey, about that WWE connection. Yeah, so WWN is going to want to get free of FloSlam. But the championship match, this is Matt Riddle putting his WWN championship, not Evolve. He is the super champ of all the different WWN divisions. He is putting that WWN championship up against Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. IZW Redemption. This is a $9.99 pay-per-view on Fight TV. This is Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. The only match I saw was Kevin Morgan defending the IZW Championship against Double D. I don't know either of them, but if you do, check that out. It's $10, so if you don't know who they are, I wouldn't bother with that. Sunday, 3 a.m. Eastern, NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling Destruction in Kobe. This is actually a little bit lighter than the last Destruction show we had. We have the other tag team triple threat. We've got some filler matches, but the main event is actually going to be killer. Kenny Omega is supposed to be back healthy for this match, or at least healthy enough for this match. We'll be putting the United States Championship up against Juice Robinson. If he's still work injured despite being healthy, then I would definitely expect to see Juice pick the belt up. There's no better time to take the belt off of Kenny Omega than when he is injured. He has an excuse, and when he gets healthy, he can go back after that main title. And Juice Robinson is just, that belt was basically made for him. He is the perfect example of an American coming to New Japan to redefine himself. Just such a success story. Everybody seems to love him. He's earned it. I hope they put the belt on him. This is the perfect time for it. On Sunday, 2 o'clock, this is on Powerbomb TV. This is the streaming service that now is sponsoring Brian Zane doing his thing. But it's a good service. They are doing Beyond Wrestling. It's putting on Far Beyond. There's actually a free component. The pre-show is free, so at least check that out, if not the whole thing. You can sign up for the free trial. They ain't paying me to tell you this. They'll pay Brian. They ain't paying me. I got 51 people subscribing to this. I ain't nobody. They're damn sure not giving me a nickel to tell you. I'm telling you because I love you. All right, anyway, Joey Janela versus AR Fox. Martin Stone versus JT Dunn. Matt Tremont versus Ace Romero, Deonna Purrazzo versus Penelope Ford, Tracy Hot Sauce Williams again, and Yuta versus Jay Freddie and Rory Gulak. I know Tracy Williams and Rory Gulak. And then the team of Lufisto and Jordan Grace versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. Most of those people, if you're even vaguely familiar with indie wrestling, you should know. I don't expect you to know all of them, but you should know most of them. That's a damn good show, and that is included with your Powerbomb subscription. Some of it you don't even need that for, and you get the free trial. Check it out. It's going to be a big, great show. Then on Sunday, this is the main event. This is No Mercy. We've got a bunch of title matches and a couple that aren't. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. It has been implied that this is going to be just Finn Balor, not the Demon. Kind of trying to prove that he can do what he needed the Demon to do last time. That's going to be a hell of a match. I would expect Balor to win this, the rubber match in the feud. I kind of hope Bray wins, though. Bray needs it a little bit more than Finn does, especially if they find some way to have him win with a screwy, kind of gimmicky finish. Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Roman's got to win it. Cena's got nothing to gain from winning. He's still Cena. But Roman needs to cement that he actually is the guy. And I don't think he can do that with Cena winning. It would be like when Rocky beat Cena back the once-in-a-lifetime match. And he needed to do it again twice in a lifetime to make up for it. You got the Intercontinental Championship. Miz is defending against Jason Jordan. This is the big thing they've been leading up to. I think Jordan wins. I think that's how they prolong this feud a little bit. He's been working real hard to get the title shot. I don't know how they justify giving him another shot if he doesn't win, even with interference. I think he's got to do it. You got the Cruiserweight Championship, Neville versus Enzo. The promotion for this has been insane because it's been style versus substance, and they made the style guy the good guy, and they're basically acknowledging at every turn he's not really that good at wrestling. That is weird. That is really weird. He had to cheat to win. He is giving promos where he's talking about, yeah, he may not be the best wrestler, but people like him. It's really weird, and it's almost enough to make me like Enzo. It's not enough, but it's almost enough. But I really want Neville to retain. I don't want him to lose that Cruiserweight belt again, even if it's only for a week like last time. I really want Neville to stay as champ. You got the Tag Team Championship, Ambrose and Rollins defending against the Bar. I don't think they took the belts off the Bar to put them back on. I think that they are basically keeping the belts warm for the next tag team. Hopefully we'll see Gallows and Anderson sweep back into the feud. They've been kind of cursory to everything. I don't know. But I would expect Amber Rollins to win this one. You got the Women's Championship Fatal 5-Way. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Emma versus Nia Jax versus Bayley. Bayley came back, inserted herself into the match. I'm going to say Emma's going to win. No confidence in that prediction whatsoever, but I'm going to say it anyway. And then finally, the Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. I think this is time for Braun. I know that I've been saying for a while, Braun's not ready, Braun's not ready. I still don't think he's ready, but I think they're going to put the belt on him anyway and just run with it. They're not doing the whole, if Brock loses, he's going to run away to the UFC thing. I think they're going to take the belt off of him. I think he's going to take a little time off. We won't see him for a little bit, and then when he comes back, he's going to be angrier than ever. He'll have gotten back all of that he's lost from kind of looking weak to Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman lately. And I think this gives a nice, different monster to chase that can actually be there as often as they need until they pull Brock back for more. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Trampions. I love you. As always, I'm the Tramp. Comments, you know where to put them. Likes, you know to do it. Hit subscribe, all that junk. Join us at the Reddit Country Club. Check out the calendar. It's always going to have the most up-to-date information on wrestling that is live for you to watch that I can find. Cheers.